Hara'av, number 10, with a tipcha. So this is going to close the thought and pause slightly afterwards. Number 10, besides the hunger of the people for food, there was a complementary famine of spirit, as depicted by the closing shape of the directional reading mark. So the question is he talking about the people in Egypt, or the people who are with Avram who have to leave Canaan? And hard to say who he's referencing here.
Well, who's the Navi who says that in the end of the day,
in Kemach, in Torah, if they're starving, they don't have...
But literally, there'll be a what is it? Isn't it? I think so. In this Korabach.
All right. So in any case, the previous Kikaved, we're talking about what Avram is going to do for future generation of Jews. So Ra'av should probably talk about what's going to happen for people who are with Avram, because it's talking about people who are in his sphere of influence, because that's what Kikaved is talking about. But the word certainly is ambiguous in this context as to whether it's talking about the spiritual depravity of the Egyptians or the physical lack of the people who are with Avram.
There's a pun there too. Well, Kaved and Rav.
Mm-hmm.
For opposites. Shamin when the you have a Rav Kaved. A heavy lack.
Heavy lack. You know. And again, we get the word Ba'aretz, but here, and again, it's got the stabilizing Sof Pasuk. Number 11. Just as there was a shortage of nutrition for the population, there was also a lack of spirit, which extended in the land, and it was not satisfied. As the Zohar said, the ha'ara lo itchabna b'tikuna kedisha, because the land did not improve by advancement of spirit. Otherwise, ki kaved harav ba'aretz is an obsolete repetition of the beginning of the sentence. So we're saying that the first part of the sentence is talking about physicality, and the second part is talking about spirituality.
That's what he suggested.
Which is what he's suggesting, but it's usually the reverse of what we would see. And yet we're seeing a lot of reversals in the sentence, right? We're seeing v'nahapochu in many ways of appearing in this sentence. So perhaps in this sentence it is appropriate that we start by talking about the physical and moving it to the spiritual, because that's really what the concept of Avram having to go to Egypt is having to go to a physical place for spiritual reasons. So this is sort of an opposite sentence, and it's very interesting that our normal pattern of the higher level at the beginning is being contrasted in this time with the lower level at the beginning and the higher level at the end. So again, that certainly fits in with the theme of the pasuk. So as we read through the sentence, we're going to notice that each time we come to Hara'av, there's a pause, so that the famine is going to be separated from its influence on the land by that pause. And we're going to see that both Vayered and Mitzrayma, the two lower concepts, have notes that elevate them. Vayhi Ra'av Ba'aretz Vayered Avram Mitzrayma Lagur Sham Ki Chaved Hara'av Ba'aretz. Didn't quite emphasize the last pause long enough, but I think we get the concept. And I'm almost sure, without checking it, Tikkun, that Vayered in number 4, that the pashta is in fact on the first syllable as a single pashta, and that probably is something that is Masorah. I will check my Tikkun when I get home, but I'm pretty sure that one is sort of exceptional on purpose.
Is that being different to backwards or different?
And I think we'll go on. 12:11. We'll do one more pasuk. Vayihi, and it was with a zaket gadol. So this is a 3-part note, a line with 2 dots beside it. Avram accepted a life of troubles with manifold humiliations, and it was a situation of mixed emotions, as indicated by the shape of the reading mark. So you have all of these different things happening at once. He's got all of these different influences coming upon him, and he's got the loss of what he thought was his stability. So again, we see many things happening to him at once. Kasher, with a mecha, lightly connected to what's come from before, but mostly moving forward into what's going to go afterwards. He assumed the life and conditions of an alien in a strange land amid the roughness of an unfriendly environment, like that which would be experienced by his children, as shown by the directional shape of the reading mark. So again, he's lightly connected to what he was before, someone who has lost his stability, but mostly moving forward into what's going to go on, accepting part of the suffering that his progeny are eventually going to have to suffer. He creeved, he drew near with the tipcha. This is going to close the thought and pause slightly afterwards. By anticipating to take part in the later, quote, slavery, which officially begun by the tribes after Yaakov's arrival in Egypt, he draw near the end of, he creeved. He draw near the end of agony of exile by his own participation. Zohar indicates that this is why the expression he creeved, he draw near, is used instead of kari, came near, approached, as stressed by the closing shape of the reading mark.
So instead of kasher he creeved, he said it would have been what? Kasher kareev? I don't get that.
So we're talking more about an emotional or spiritual coming close than a physical coming close, I think. I think that's the difference that we're trying to say here, is that it's something that is felt within himself. He brought himself close.
I wonder if it's a he feel, which means he's causing it to happen. Like it's not just that he's naturally getting closer because he's going step by step, but he is binding himself close to the
He's drawing himself
near, drawing himself near to the.
So literally, he draw near, binding himself to it rather than physically coming close to it.
But kareev it would never be kareev. That's what I'm asking. Like he's saying, it says he creeved instead of. What's the alternative?
Maybe karev lavo.
Karev or karav lavo, right? But it would never be kareev.
Karav.
You know, it would never be kareev though. I don't even know what that means, kareev. That form never appears.
It seems to suggest the Zohar indicates that Russian. So.
No, I can understand. No, it's obviously the same word. You know, kuf resh beis, but not. It could be karav or.
Lavo, for coming, with a manaf, so this is going to be sharply separated from what's come from before, but move us forward into the new reality afterwards. Not only did Avram hasten the presence of the tribes in Egypt, but he also pressed for it and shortened the time for coming there too, in order to secure the final goal of obtaining the Torah, as denoted by the shape of the reading mark. So he's going to separate out the Egypt experience for what it is eventually going to lead to. So in essence, he's going to leave the parts of Egypt that are Egypt still there, and going to take the necessary part of the experience and move forward with it. Mitzrayma, towards Egypt, with the stabilizing at Machta. Avram fully appreciated his chosen position in the Negev while he advanced towards Egypt, but he also realized that the tribes would value exodus from there on their way from the stand of Sinai, as suggested by the stabilizing shape of the reading order. So he's taking the perspective of the people of Israel as they reach Ma'amad Har Sinai, and he's saying that their Egypt experience is going to be something that is going to allow them to elevate to the level of getting Torah on Sinai, because without having gone through that experience, they wouldn't see the value in themselves having risen to that level. So Mitzrayim, that experience is in fact going to be part of the base that they need in order to move from that. Vayomer, and he said, again with two pashtaot, so we're going to get an emphasis of the word and a double meaning to the word. In the midst of this situation, he made heavy decisions, and he said, by asking advice about the soundness of his plan as expressed by the double directional shape of the reading order. So not only is he saying, but he's also asking. So that's what we get. That's what we get two pashtaot here. He's saying this, and he's also asking Sarah, what does she think? El Sarai, to Sarai, with a naf. So this is going to sharply demarcate and move forward. Avram knew that the concerns about the goal of their children were equally important to Sarai as to him, as specified by the shape of the reading mark. So her level of concern is separate from his, and he recognizes its importance. And as we will learn later and from the Midrash, that Sarai is in fact the bigger prophet of the prophetess of the two. So even though he knows that both of them have interests and both of them have an importance, what is going to go forward is what Sarai says. Kol asher tamar lecha Sarah shma b'kola. Whatever Sarah tells you, you have to listen to her. Ishto, with a katon. So this is a two-part note. His wife, number 8, as his wife and partner of his soul and future. Avram sought her opinion about his views and problems, as pointed out by the bipartite shape of the reading order. So even though he has an opinion, he values hers, and in fact he puts hers above his. So that's why we get the two-part note with one higher than the other.
That's it's a mirror of your parents' marriage, no? Didn't your father always say your mother was the greater one?
Always.
Maybe give it another couple.
Hinena, readily
like
pleased.
With the
Readily pleased with a munaf. So again, this is going to separate us out from what's come from before and move to what's going to go on. Avram, knowing Sarai's reaction and way of thinking, turned to her anxious to be helped without delay, saying, readily please make your suggestions with regard to the concurrent circumstances as illustrated by the shape of the reading mark. He wants an answer, and he wants to move into the new reality as quickly as possible. So he pleads with her. Yadati, I realized, with the katon, a two-part note. Number 10, from many experiences in the past, I realized that your opinions are most valuable by practical objectivity, as conveyed by the bipartite shape of the reading mark. So Avram again is deferring his point of view to her point of view. So we get the two-part note with one part being higher. So he's putting his own ego and investment lower than hers. Key with a tavir. So this has again that stabilizing dot within the Mercha shape. Because, number 11, because of that empirical background, I require your say how to proceed further, as depicted by the shape of the reading mark. So again, Avram is going to use Sarai's decision as the stabilizing influence for how they act. Isha, a woman, likely with a mercha, likely.
Sorry, what is that shape under?
Tavir.
Oh, it is a tavir.
Mm-hmm.
Very hard
It's hard to
that.
see.
I'm just going to write it.
If you need to write it in this certain you can. Isha, a woman with a mercha, number 12, likely connected to what's come from before, but mostly moving us forward. Moreover, your views as a woman are based on special intuition and understanding, which is largely unknown to man. Therefore, your judgments could be most useful, as signified by the directional shape of the reading mark. And the entire situation from before is going to hinge on literally a woman's intuition of how to handle this difficult social situation that's going to come up. Yifat Mareh, of beautiful image, with the tifcha. So this is going to close the thought and pause slightly afterwards. Your presumptions based on your quality of beautiful image of various events may be accurate, and I presume that's conclusive, not conclusive. Conclusive as portrayed by the closing shape of the directional reading mark. Her physical appearance is going to be what's going to give her insight in how to act in a place that is guided morally by physical appearance. So she has an insight that he perhaps does not have. So he's going to let that be the deciding and closing factor of how they're going to act when they get there. You are at.
Sorry, so you are interpreting that Yifat Mareh is beautiful physical image, her physical appearance? So I'm wondering if a beautiful image,
So
based on what he was saying before,
is prophecy her perspective on what
how she sees things,
in a good
like
way.
Mareh Yaakov.
Yeah, like how she perceives in a positive way. Positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is the source where
So-
he said that Abram didn't even know she was beautiful. So doesn't make me think too much about Abram. He said something like till now he never even knew she was beautiful.
So again,
Yeah,
but
but
if we
you
take the second thought that Yifat Mareh has nothing to do with physical
yeah.
appearance, but of lovely prophet skills, if you will. You're the stronger
Insight.
prophet here. You're the one who can see more clearly.
But either way,
what's going
he
to come
doesn't
of
realize
this.
until now,
Also,
after all these years of marriage,
Right.
even if it's not the physical one.
Mhm.
Both ways it's hard to understand that he's just having this realization now.
Who says just as realization now?
Because it says Hinei. Hinei is always like a Lashon Tzmiha. That and
A
there's
revelation.
a famous midrash that he didn't realize till now, whether it's physical or the spiritual. Hinei, because Hinei is there, that he didn't know till now. Oh, Hinei, that's what I mean. That's what Hinei usually means. It's always a Lashon of surprise.
If you want to interpret it as,
Mhm.
if you look at it from the perspective that she had an ayin tava, superior skills of prophecy, of how to interpret, so maybe that's the tmiha. That up until now he was doing just fine on his own, thank you very much. But now he realized in this new environment of Egypt that actually her insights would be stronger or better than his.
I still find it hard to
In this
believe that
context.
he didn't know till it's a bit thick.
No, but I'm saying in this context, it took him to get to this point to realize that maybe she have a better perspective on what's going on, because he's had
a lot of experiences till this point.
But this might be the first time that he's looking at her objectively. That is, as an individual, as a self-contained unit that's not an extension of him.
Right.
But up until now, they were together in everything. They were always described together.
I mean, remember as well that he's fulfilling God's command, doing God's word. In the meantime, now there's a Rav. Now he's got to go down to Egypt, which is a place that he's not going to do so well at. He's facing like, why is God doing this to what's going on? And she finds the higher light, the higher level of to prepare for the children, the future generations to come, the face, elevate the people. So she takes a higher view of it, a more informed, broader perspective, and that's what he realizes, that she can perhaps see God's purpose in a way better and deeper than he can, and that's the tmiha. That she finds the silver lining. She finds the silver lining in the clouds, perhaps. Perhaps.
So, tmiha is surprise.
Astonishment.
Surprise, astonishment.
Maybe he's just buttering her
Number
up.
14. You are, with
You
the
are
stabilizing
so beautiful. Oh, that's where it comes from.
In this respect, you are superior to me by your additional feminine mental abilities, which may lead you in a proper direction. So her skills and intuition are going to be what is going to guide the situation, what's going to give them stability. And we have a remark, Yadati ki isha yafat mara'at, I knew because a woman of beautiful image you are. Without the previous explanation, the word isha would be obsolete. So hinena yadati ki yafat mara'at. Why do we need to say that she's a woman? Right? The sentence reads just fine without the word isha, so the word isha is superfluous. Also, yafat mara'at relates to spiritual image and vision. Me re'eh, from your ability to see. Not mar'eh, appearance, but me re'eh, from your ability to literally see the future or
So that's what
prophesize.
we're saying a moment ago.
The word isha is superfluous if you don't add the characteristics of isha, extra bina, to apply to the situation. So the word isha has to come in there because we are specifically dealing with a closeness and an understanding of the world from that perspective, from the extra bina.
Wait a minute. It's very nice what we're saying about this whole thing, that it doesn't mean physical beauty, but in context of what's going to come, we know that it's her physical beauty that the Egyptians are going to be after, and that's what's just,
So
this is what's driving the whole thing.
while they're talking, so you often see those things counterpointed. You see the highly spiritual people talking about the spiritual aspect of something, and then the corrupt people seeing the lowest aspect of that same thing. So every word and concept in Hebrew has the element of davar v'hipucho hidden in front of it, a thing and its exact opposite hidden in front of it. So your spiritual ability to be able to see the future is almost the exact opposite of what ties you so strongly to the physical world that you can't leave it. So your appearance is almost the exact opposite of your ability to leave everything that is of appearance.
So you must be pretty good at leaving things.
Who?
So we're going to read through the sentence. We're going to notice that the first Vayehi stands by itself. And we're going to see that the word ki, that stabilizing realization, is going to be separated out from the rest of the sentence again. Vayehi asher hikriv lavo Mitzrayma vayomer el Sarai ishto hinena yadati ki isha yefat mareh at. Again, just as we got to that last word, you notice again that her decision is final.
Last word.
Her ability to influence the situation is what's going to make things happen. So again, she stands alone at the end. And I think we'll
What
stop.
do we say on Ishto? So right, because it's obvious she's his wife. Later, when with the Yosef and Yaakov, they also say, we know it's the brother, Yosef, Yaakov's brother. You know what I mean? What did he say about Ishto?
So again, we're saying that it's got the double influence of her opinion and his opinion, and him putting her opinion higher than his. So two parts with one part higher than the other.
Cool.
That's why it says Ishto, you're saying?
That's why ishto with a katona. But you're asking why it says the word
Ishto at all,
ishto.
because
So again, we're taking the Kabbalistic concept of what a woman has over a man, and we're introducing that into the conversation by saying isha and ishto.
Cool. Yes, cool. Did you want to do one more question, or do you want to stop here?
I think everyone is sort of nodding off, so I think we'll end here.
Got it. Yes, cool. Thank you.
Thank you. I love this how Vayirid Avram Mitzrayim is all emphasized in higherness instead of lowness, because it's also he kaved harav art. It could seem a failure. You know, everybody is they're following this spiritual man to a higher spiritual ground who's going to open up the secrets of the world, and what happens? They're stuck in a famine and they're held captive by this physical.
Or you know the people that got from Quran?
Yeah. But he has to do this to show that this is not a failure. It's actually a fulfillment of the next part of the prophecy. And then when Bnei Israel, when Yaakov goes down to Mitzrayim, again, he was also in the situation of famine, but it wasn't a treachery. It wasn't a cop out like Elimelech, when he ran away from his destiny. They weren't. They were greeting their destiny.
Actually, essentially, the Nefesh B'Chaban, there's no indication here that he went down with them. Also.
Well, earlier it says.
Well, we don't say whether these people go down to Egypt or not.
Right.
But
I actually had the question: why does Sarah have to go? Like with Yosef, when the brothers go, they don't all go. Yaakov, he sends them. They don't all go. So he could have left Sarah behind.
In fact, at the Akedah, they were living separately. Avram and Sarah were living
before
separately.
Before the Akedah or after the Akedah? Oh, she died after the Akedah.
Yeah, but she died somewhere else. He has to come, right, to the Marat HaMachpelah to buy it.
Why were they living apart at that point?
They were living apart.
Which tells you something.
So Yaakov still has some resources. He still has something small to send as a gift to Yosef.
Right.
So it might not have been as desperate.
By Yaakov.
And
that's why. And that's why.
And certainly
that's why
Yaakov. That's number one.
Yeah.
And Yaakov doesn't have prophetic permission to go, whereas Avram is taking this as a challenge, and he folds it back into Lech Lecha. Because you're going to wander. Okay, so here it is. My fate is to wander, and this is going to be just another wandering, and I'm going to go through this experience because it's also going to be for my good. Lecha.
It's not that he arrived with the Lech Lecha to Canaan, which was his destiny. It's going to be his Shembalai. Showing everything is wonderful there. He's actually leaving Canaan.
But I'm saying, do we know that the Nefesh B'Charon, did every person in Canaan go down to Mitzrayim?
We don't know that they went down, and in fact, I think we can assume that this famine probably drove them away.
Oh, because we never hear from them again.
Because we don't see them. We don't see them later on. We don't see them referred to as that anymore.
Right. So they didn't pass this test.
Mind you, but when we have the Milchama between the kings, right? He has 218 men with them.
But I mean, he comes back from Egypt with goods and wealth and slaves and so on. So it's hard to say what happens to the souls who came from Haran.
Sure. So I'm saying, if they didn't go, then maybe there's a question that Sarah shouldn't have gone, especially since this incident's coming up with he knew she was beautiful and that they would kidnap her and stuff. She could have stayed behind, the same way Yaakov stayed behind, and he could have brought the food back the way the brothers brought it for you know what I mean? He's in danger. He wants to go in one thing, and it has to be a foretaste for his children afterwards. But Sarah didn't necessarily have to go, maybe. Maybe she, on her own, that shows her in her though, she said, no, I'm going to go also. I'm not going to leave you. Let's go on your own. But Sarah doesn't get a command to go. Oh wait, does he get a command to go down to Israel? No.
Well, he asks Sarah's advice.
No, but I'm saying from God, he doesn't.
Himself.
God doesn't tell him to go down to Mitzrayim, does he?
No.
So that's why maybe he failed this
Oh,
test.
thank you, Sheldon. You can just leave everything. I'm going to do it later.
This is a test because he actually didn't. God didn't say to go down to Mitzrayim.
No, exclusively, for sure.
True.
So
That's true.
maybe-
Not till later,
Mm-hmm.
when he was talking about his children going down to Mitzrayim.
No, but I'm saying there's no. It doesn't say
But
Hashem
now-
said go down to. It's like later when Yitzchak goes and God says don't go. You know.
Hmm.
Dave, Yeshikov, thank you.
Thank you.